One Big Beautiful Bill, a deep dive into the GOP's ambitious legislative package. A significant piece of legislation, dubbed the One Big Beautiful Bill by President Donald Trump, has been advanced by House Republicans. The bill proposes a sweeping overhaul of U.S. policy, centered on extensive tax cuts, significant changes to social programs, and increased border security measures. Having narrowly passed the House, the bill now faces a contentious path in the Senate. The One Big Beautiful Bill is a comprehensive package that aims to make permanent the 2017 Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, TCJA, which is largely set to expire at the end of 2025. Beyond extending these cuts, the bill introduces new tax exemptions and deductions, including proposals to eliminate federal taxes on tips and overtime pay. It also includes provisions that would alter eligibility requirements for Medicaid and the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, SNAP, and allocate substantial funding for the construction of a wall on the U.S.-Mexico border. Fact-checking the pros and cons. The One Big Beautiful Bill has sparked a fervent debate, with proponents heralding it as a catalyst for economic growth and prosperity, while opponents warn of dire consequences for the national debt and social safety nets. Here's a fact-checked look at the arguments on both sides. Pros. Arguments from supporters. Economic growth and job creation. Proponents, including the U.S. Chamber of Commerce and the National Association of Manufacturers, argue that making the TCJA permanent and introducing further business tax relief will stimulate the economy. They contend that measures like 100% immediate expensing for equipment and machinery will encourage investment, leading to job creation and higher wages. The White House Council of Economic Advisers has projected that the bill could lead to significant increases in take-home pay for families and higher wages for workers. Tax relief for individuals and families. The bill promises direct tax relief for many Americans. This includes making the doubled standard deduction and the increased child tax credit from the 2017 law permanent. New, albeit temporary, proposals would also exempt tips and overtime pay from federal income tax, directly benefiting service industry and hourly workers. Supporters also point to the proposed increase in the state and local tax SALT deduction cap, which would benefit taxpayers in high-tax states. Support for small businesses and farmers. The bill includes several provisions aimed at small businesses and agricultural sectors. It proposes to make the 20% pass-through deduction for small businesses permanent and increase it to 23%. Additionally, making the increased estate tax exemption permanent is argued to be crucial for family-owned farms and businesses to be passed down through generations without the burden of a significant tax liability. Border security and immigration control. A central pillar of the bill is its focus on border security, with significant funding allocated for the construction of a border wall and the hiring of more Border Patrol and ICE agents. Supporters argue these measures are essential for national security and for controlling illegal immigration. The bill also seeks to require a Social Security number to claim certain tax credits, a move proponents say will prevent undocumented immigrants from accessing taxpayer-funded benefits. Cons. Arguments from opponents and nonpartisan analysts. Increased national debt, a primary concern voiced by critics and nonpartisan analysts like the Tax Foundation and the Congressional Budget Office, CBO, is the bill's substantial impact on the national debt. Estimates suggest the tax cuts alone could add trillions of dollars to the deficit over the next decade. While supporters argue that economic growth will offset these costs, many economists are skeptical of such claims. Cuts to social safety nets. The bill proposes significant changes to Medicaid and SNAP, including stricter work requirements and more frequent eligibility checks. Opponents, such as the Center for American Progress, argue that these changes could lead to millions of low-income individuals and families losing access to essential health care and food assistance. Link to factcheck.org has also clarified that while proponents claim the bill removes illegals from Medicaid, undocumented immigrants are already generally ineligible for comprehensive Medicaid coverage. Disproportionate benefit to the wealthy. Critics argue that the tax provisions in the bill would disproportionately benefit high-income earners and corporations. The permanent extension of the 2017 tax cuts, which included a significant reduction in the corporate tax rate, and the increase in the estate tax exemption are often cited as examples of policies that favor the wealthy. Repeal of clean energy incentives. The bill proposes to repeal clean energy tax credits established under the Biden administration. Opponents argue this would stifle the growth of the renewable energy sector, cost American jobs, and hinder efforts to combat climate change. Some analyses suggest that repealing these credits would be a gift to China, which is a major competitor in the green technology market. Gimmicks and complex tax provisions. Some policy analysts, even those who support tax cuts in principle, have criticized certain elements of the bill as political gimmicks. The temporary nature of some of the most populist tax breaks, like the exemption for tips and overtime, has drawn scrutiny. Furthermore, some of the proposed savings incentives have been described as overly complex and unlikely to be utilized by the low and middle-income households they are ostensibly designed to help.